Hey everyone, this is RONG. I greet you according to your time. Quickly, where I want to drop this hot afternoon or cold afternoon rather, concerning the matter that have been trending for some time now regarding what the transpire in Lagos between the Oba and the Lagosians, because yesterday a school colleague of mine, a classmate of mine, asked me a question if I am from Benin, and I told him no, I'm not from Benin, I'm from Esan. He said okay, he want to ask me something. I said, what is it? He said, you don't know how I will react. I said, ask me, what is the question? So he asked me why the king, the Oba of Benin, went to Lagos and said what he said. I told him first, the Esan and the Benin, we are not the same. We are different people, very, very different, despite the fact that the Benin speak abstract of Esan language. And I told him I don't know, because I don't know. That is not my business. As long as it was not done by Esan person, I have nothing about that. Though I've made video before regarding this issue. And the guy explained a lot of things to me, and I told him that, he asked me what sense does it make. I said I don't know if it makes any sense to him, but what really got me no smiling when the guy was speaking was that, no, for some time now we'll be trying to correct the historical error which the Benin people keep narrating. Not all, because there are some people who doesn't even care about all the stuff. They just believe that people should live their lives, and these people happen to be from Benin. So he said a lot of things actually, and I told him that we've been suffering this for a very long time. How the Benin monarchy, they came together, drafted a wrong history about us, and they find their way to get themselves into our skin and tell us a history that never happened about them and the Esan, how they own Esan land. This is a history that never took place anytime. Now till tomorrow, the Benin people are afraid of Esan people, though they have their narrative, but they don't really know how come about. Before this, they had this issue of if you see an Esan man, you see a snake, kill this Esan man before the snake. So many people don't know what come up about that narrative. But the fact remains that we are not the same people. They cunningly came into our territory with a proposal that we should be friends, which we accepted, because Esan people is all about peace and unity, despite the fact that now that a lot of enemies has found their way into our den and they cause a lot of disunity among us. We were never like that. Esan is the only kingdom that has kingdoms in it. Esan is the only kingdom that have several kings. There is no other kingdom with such structure, which we call democracy today. There is no other kingdom with such a structure that everybody does his own thing, but we are one kingdom. So we've been suffering all these accusation, laying claim over what never belongs to them from the Benin for years. And when we came out, started to straighten up all this wrong narrative, people always say, you people are Benin are the same thing, Esan and Benin are the same thing, because we speak similar language. But what people don't understand is you can't create original from fake. You can only create fake from original. If you, how do you know original language? original language. For instance, as Esan is so, Esan is the original language. Benin was created from Esan. That's the reason why when Benima speak, the Esan hear, we understand what they are saying. But when the Esan speak, the Benin doesn't hear. They don't understand what we are saying, because the Benin language is just an extract from the Esan major language. So that is the fact, and they fight for a very long time to kill all those history, how the Benin, I won't say the whole of Benin, I won't say the whole of Benin. There's a part of Benin, which is the center of Benin, called the Igun. The part of the parcel of Igun belongs to Esan. Belongs to Esan. Just the way the Benin had the few family from the Benin went to Lagos, the part of land which is island in Lagos, to settle there, and they met people there. They met people there. They did what they have always done, overtake and dominate. So they find a way to dominate the people they met there, and they took over and they started imposing the taxation system that was not favorable to the people, rather to the Benin people only, until they were driven out of the land. Like the Igun, it was the Esan people that occupy the Igun. That is just a family from the Esan land. A family, because Esan is very large, very, very large. The Igun people was being occupied by a family from the Esan land. And this family, they were all living well, because then there was nothing like Benin. Because the whole of land create, I think the Edo West, I think it's Edo West, I don't know. That part of the land was occupied by several tribes. You have some tribes from Delta, which is part of Delta today. You have some tribe from Esan, which occupied the Igun territory. You have some tribe from Igbo. You have some tribe from Igbo land. So there were different tribes residing in that part of the country called Benin today. And they all had an agreement that the leadership of that land will be rotating. So it happened, it went through for quite a number of years until issue break up, and the issue didn't, the rotation didn't continue again. So the next family that was supposed to take over, something happened that they were not able to take over. So there was chaos in the land. There was chaos in the land. So that was what led to the reinstatement of the the son of the Oba from Ile-Ife. So that was what happened. That they have to go and look for that guy to come, Oromio to take to come and take over. So there's an original history regarding that Oromio. Today, though, the Benin has history of every tribe in Nigeria. So, and they have their own history, which they created themselves. And that history, they rewrite every person's history. They wrote their own history that claim that they own everywhere in Nigeria, even to Ghana. A Benin person once told me that they own Ghana, they own Benin Republic, they own everywhere. So a Benin man will today tell you that the Igbos, they own the Igbo land. So the Benin, they have this kind of, let me not call it a curse, just to sit down and start dreaming how they own everywhere. And that's why a Benin man will tell you the Benin owns, or Oba owns everywhere, both from Benin to the world. Oba owns everywhere. So I don't know how that delusional attitude came about. But what I'm saying is that we've been suffering this for a very long time, and now is gradually crawling into the Yoruba territory, and they are feeling the pain already. But we've lived with this pain for a very long time, because we are a kingdom of peace, no? So, but at the end of the day, we that own this Igun, because our people that was living in Gun, they left because when the Oba dynasty came, the Oba Eweka the first, they started to create this taxation issue, and also the issue of maltreating the some people that were living in that tribe, Igun, because they saw that that place is the center of Benin, and if the Esan take over that place, they were already thinking about territorial battle then. So they came together to fight against the Esan people that were there, and they imposed a kind of system that the men will not have sex with their wives, because they see that the Esan people, they already know their numbers is already waxing very, very large. So they said that the Esan people, the men will not have sexual intercourse with their wives for, I think, 7 years. They will not have their bath, and they will not eat some certain food, so that they can just dominate them and control them. So because of this reason, the Esan family in Gun that was in charge of that Igun, some of them, they left. They went back, they came back home to Esan land, and some stayed. So those ones that stayed, the part of Esan land where those family moved back to, today they sometimes go to that Igun and pay homage to their people that didn't follow them during the time of relocating back to Esan land. So, but when Benin man want to translate that, they will say that can't you see that the Esan kings came to pay homage to the Benin, that Benin is the owner of Esan. So they are so naive, without understanding of history, how the history came about. They don't really have any idea, but they just keep talking, just like what happened now. Even if the Benin, the Benin king Oba went to Lagos, he can go and pay homage to the place where their people reside in years, which is the island, as they say. He can go there and pay homage. It doesn't mean that the Lagos king is not king in Benin. It simply means that your people stay here for certain years in so time. So because of that, you are coming back to pay homage, to greet your people over there in that part of the land. That is how it's been done. So it doesn't mean that you are the owner of the place. But the Oba made two statements. He said that at first, he said that the Benin created Lagos. Play that video very well. He said that the Benin created Lagos. And again, he said it might not be all the whole of Lagos, but a part of Lagos. That the book, all those books are nonsense, because they wrote all those books. They wrote all those books. So no man will mark his own script and fail. So they just wrote the book the way it suits them. So it doesn't mean that was what actually happened. So that is the way it is. That is the way it is. So for the Yoruba people, I will say, don't take whatever the Benin said into record, because they are used to it. That is just their way of living, you know. This system which they started ago that caused a very huge conflict between the Benin's, then though it was not called the Benin then. So and now they are still, you know, doing it, not knowing that the world has moved on. We are no longer living in that era. And if they have to fight, the Benin cannot hold the feet of the Esan. They can't. They don't even have it. They don't have the strength, because we, the Esan, we are the one that fight for them in years past. So when they go and look for trouble, which they can't fight, they will come and start begging the Esan. The Esan will send, the Esan kings will send people, warriors, because we own the warriors then. We send warriors to go and help them fight and gain victory for them. That is how it has been for years. So if you look at those artifacts in Benin, which the Oba and the governor were fighting over for one certain time, those artifacts were made by the Esan. Go to Igun, those artifacts were made by the Igun people. And who are the Igun people? The Esan people. No, but we are not laying claim to anything. We just want everybody live your life. But the Benin doesn't want that. They just want to be the head, and you can't be the head of something you never created, which you have no idea of. The name Benin came to being with the. It was even, if you check it, how the name Benin came. It was even the Yoruba. It was a speaking of the Yoruba that brought the wrong pronunciation of a particular word in Yoruba. It was the wrong pronunciation that brought out Benin, which the word was Binu, not Bini. It's Binu mean angry. So ask a Benin man, what is the meaning of Benin? Ask the man, ask them what is the meaning of Benin. Like they will say, they are the one that named Esan. Because there was a time there are people said Esan the son of Laoha. Esan the son of Laoha. Meaning Esan that jumped into the bush. Now what came about in that period is this Igun issue. Is this Igun issue when Esan people that were living in Igun left. So that was what brought about that statement. But they don't know, many of them don't know, they don't have idea of what happened. Now, if you say it was the king, they said their king named us Esan. During that time, that was what they said. The king just talked about it and said Esan the son of Laoha. That was why the name came about Esan. How can a person be so stupid that if Esan was not bearing that name Esan, how then do you say Esan the son of Laoha? How then will you say Esan, the Esan that jumped into the bush? If we were not bearing that name before then as Esan. So sometimes their history just so now I don't really follow them up because it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, like I came across a post that that has to do with Idumu, and the person who made the post said Idumu is a Benin word, and he tried to link it with Yoruba, that Idumuika. So it's a Benin and Yoruba word. Though Idumika is a kingdom, a village, and they try to link it between Benin and Yoruba. And Idumu is not a Benin word. Idumu is Esa word. Idumu in Esa means territory or community. That is what Idumu means in Esa. Idumu is not a Benin word. Ask any Benin man what is the meaning of Idumu. Idumu is not their word. Idumu is Esa word. So like I said before, Benin is an extract of Esa. Even though they don't want to believe it, Benin is an extract of Esa. So Idumu is an Esa word, not a Benin word. So the writer of that narrative was wrong. And this is how wrong narratives are being preached around. That is how it continues to grow. And this person, I think it happened to be a Yoruba person. I should be a Yoruba person that wrote that narrative. But we should try to find out the genesis of a particular scenario, of a particular narrative before we start spreading them. Because our histories, I was surprised that a document was sent to me that was written, the document was sent, I think it was written by a Canadian person, how the British invaded Lagos, invaded the part of land today called the Benin before they moved to Esan, how they captured the Benin within 3 days, how it took them over 6 years fighting the Esan, and yet the Benin, they will tell you that Benin is bigger than Esan. It's just crazy, you know. It's crazy, but we are not stuck in such a wrong background narrative, you know. We are not stuck in that. So that's why we are Esan people. We don't get bothered by those baseless narrative. So I think what can happen is that the Lagosians, the Yoruba, they should just forgive them. Forgive them. Like the Bible will say, forgive them for they don't know what they are doing. They are children. Because you can't come to a dynasty that have been for years and you that just came in and start to claim leadership head. It doesn't really make sense. So you guys should forgive them, and I'm speaking to every Yoruba guys, forgive them, because it is not worth it wasting your saliva over this issue. I tell you the truth. Because we are no longer there to defend them. So at the end of the day, you will pity them if you try to carry anything that has to do with a muzzle to them. So you will pity them because they don't really have that strength. So have a nice day.